Hello everyone and welcome to Wise Exotics. I'm your host Trevor, and today we'll be going over the start for the video log series for February of 2025. For those of you new or are returning, I hope you had a good start to January and all the way into February. To start off with, there's no bad news. There's some plants that I'm kind of watching from the import, but beyond that, nothing really is worrisome at this time. A couple of good news. But before we start there, I'd like to point out there is a giveaway going over on Instagram. It'll end on March 1st. You have to be a follower on my Instagram page and, follow the rules to the contest. But basically, one entry per person. Whoever wins my LVB X Veitchii Barrio. This is the one that has almost an entirely red striped peristome, squat, reddish trap body, and, it's a medium-sized plant. It's very hardy and easy to grow. So basically, they're well known for this cross to grow in almost any conditions and be pretty hardy. So my hope and my expectation was it would be a good plant for anybody to win. They're fun, they're sometimes pretty pricey, so I thought, what the heck, this will be a fun one to go out. Let's see. Currently here in California, we're having a bit of thunderstorms and rain. Nothing too crazy yet, but that's been going on. If you're new to my channel and you can't understand me or hear me in time because there's bells, whistles, or birds going in the background, let me know. My plants are located in a glass room that's an addition to my house. It's hooked into my dining room. There are birds in here as well as snakes, but the birds sometimes get a little feisty and want my attention and or are just having fun with the bell and the bars and whatnot. So keep that in mind. Sometimes there might be a pause or a blip in the video, and that's me pausing to try to calm the birds down or chat with them. So just an FYI, don't want anybody to worry about that. If you ever need help or need some suggestions or plants you're looking for, feel free to chat with me here or, hit me up over on Instagram. Same account, it's Wise Exotics or Wise Exotic over on Instagram. Just send me a message and I'm happy to reply and chat. Plant chat. Let's see. Trying to think. So there are some basils coming in. Both of my Rajahs have basils. I wasn't expecting the seed grown to be pushing one out this early. That thing is crazy vigorous. It is a Attenboroughii Rajah, which is not the common Kinabalu form. That's from BE3152. So that one is pushing out its first basil. It's a very prolific and fast grower compared to its siblings. So far, this is the first one I've seen get this big this quickly, as well as push out a basil. The 3152 Rajah, which is my female that I have been calling Hydra because that clone just makes basils like crazy. She does have two smallish ones pushing out right now. There is another one, I think, on the other side, but it's harder to see because I kind of just see like a green trap between the brown parts of her stem. So there's that. Rajah XG has a basil. Rajah crossed with Berbigiae. Rajah crossed with Berbigiae X Edwardsiana has at least 2 to 3 basils pushing out, and that one is a seed grown one, not a tissue culture. There's a couple of places where you can get that same specimen type, that Grex, but they're a single clone tissue culture. Mine is actually a seed grown plant, so that'll be fun to see how that goes. No Veitchii basils at this time on any of the main plants we know. On the import plant, it looks like the larger one might have a basil pushing, so that'll be neat to see. That's one of the ones that I'm kind of watching right now that I'm a little worried about because it's just trying to stabilize and get through the import shock. The other that was a seedling that basically it was almost dead on arrival. No blame to Nepenthes Odyssey. It was alive when she sent it. I think it went into shock through the shipping, just getting bounced around again. It went from shipping 1, shipping 2, and I think maybe I shipped it to me too early because I'm the one who requested it. The top of it popped off. I treated it and applied rooting gel as well as put it in Akadama and bagged it. It looks to be alive still, and it might even be pushing a growth tip. So if that continues and it doesn't turn black, then it will have re-rooted and I'll have saved a seedling. So there's that. That is Veitchii Candy crossed with Candy Dream. So I'm really hopeful that does root and make it through. It was a seed grown specimen. seedlings. I thought I had a seedling in Veitchii red crossed with Candy Dreams. I was mistaken. It was one of those little flecks from the sphagnum moss that was slightly green with algae had stuck to a seedling, and I was like, dang it. I thought it was a seedling pushing out. So no germination in that one yet. Both Geoff Wong X Candy Dream pots, pot 1 and 2, have germination. At least 5 in pot 1, and pot 2 just popped 3 yesterday. So more will go as time goes on. The only thing that worries me about this and any of these Veitchii seedlings, or any seedlings in general, is the mortality rate. Usually, to what I understand talking to people, 3 years is kind of the occurred limit for most seedlings and plants. Either they're not going to good places, or people can't take care of them, or they themselves have something genetically wrong that they just kind of expire. That's kind of the time frame for seed-grown plants, if they're seedlings, if they'll, make it or break it kind of thing. So I'm gonna try to keep these about 3 years, maybe-ish, unless they grow a lot faster than I'm expecting. Kind of see how they develop and how they grow out, and then I'll have those available. So those will be the hardiest of all the ones I have. So that's the plan with that. Trying to think. So far in the question mark pots, which are the unknown source that somebody sent me, the macro, which I'm calling mystery because there's only one, so it's the mystery if it's a macro or not. So little mystery is still alive and pushing. Nothing in the quote Diabolica pot has popped out yet at this time. Still only that one Vent X Sib X Vent crossed with Maximex Talogenesis. Just one of those germinated. Let's see, I did repot all of the JF001 Veitchii, which are an Austrian Grex from John Fernando. Those are yellow peristome crossed with brown peristome that was crossed with the Maraud X Candy. Basically Maraud Stripe X Candy Stripe, but it's Maraud X Candy. So those have all been repotted and put in their own individual pots. Some of them are compots, 2 to 3 in a pot, so that'll be easier for me to pull them out and ship them out, was my thought process. Those will be available again as of February-ish, but I'm not gonna sell all of them, just kind of a few that are remaining. So far those have been extremely hardy. They've been sent out even during the winter and they didn't even notice the cold. So there's that. To point out, that is an Austrian Grex. It's not one here from the USA, so you cannot typically get those. That is just something that I was successful in germinating. Now there are the Ritz Expario. I'm planning to repot the ones that are still left in those. I only had a handful because it was only a single seed pod. A bunch of those have gone out, and I do have quite a few remaining, but it's just, like maybe 30 or 40-ish. So there are those, but my plan is to repot those next and put them in their own individual pots. Same thing as I did with the JF001. So there's that. Beyond that, no other changes at this time. I don't have any plants out in the wild. Nothing's going on. I didn't buy any new plants. I know, shocking, right? No new Veitchii. Yeah, so the copper lilies I got here are from a trade with Mr. Rogers over on Instagram. These are seed-grown copper lilies. I've actually really wanted to try growing copper lilies for a while. Normal Brigsiana, Peter D'Amato Brigsiana is right there. She is doing good. This is the female that's known to be fertile. It looks like most Brigsiana that are Lowii crossed with Ventricosa seem to be viable for breeding if they're a female. Ventricosa crossed Lowii females tend to be sterile, from what I'm understanding, checking stuff out. Sibulinensis just started to open, so when that pushes out, I will take some pics. Its variegated streaks kind of appear and not appear randomly. I'm not too sure how that thing behaves. Samudira looks to be coming back-ish. It's trying. It kind of went into shock during the heat wave, but it's been pushing through. The what is this? This is the F2, one of the F2s. So this is Viking X Black Miracle, basically Viking X Black Miracle. This is one of two I have. The red one, we all know I call Cherry Bomb, but this is the other sibling. It kind of fried its growth tip, but it's still alive at this point. I'm assuming it's trying to push out some basil somewhere in the media and they'll come up. So I'm not too worried about that. Peltatas are doing okay. This is actually one of my Bellii X Aristolochoides. It does have a basil. This is the slower growing sibling that usually was up above. I've been seeing quite a few of the cuttings of that producing basils on uppers and whatnot. It's a smaller species. It doesn't get giant, but it makes crazy vines and basils a lot. B here, which is a Seagram plant, doesn't make as many basils as its sibling A, who's up above. It doesn't grow as fast and not as tall, so it does vine. It's just a lot slower too. Take it as you will. Let's see. The Spathix Edwardsiana was throwing a tantrum, but it looks like it's trying to push out okay. Not too worried about those. The rest of these plants are doing pretty well. Adriani in the corner keeps throwing nice traps. It's kind of crawling along the back. It's really interesting to watch. Okie dokie. There's a feather in here. Not to say that the birds don't get feathers when they fly around. Let's see. I did repot this one, which was my Hose Mountain X Barrio. If I can get it. No, not that trip, huh? Where is its trap? There it is. You can see its trap. It's got really intense striping, but I did repot this one and this one also. This is one of the ones from Samantha. So is this one. This is one of the Pink X Barrio #2. This was the one that did really well with the eggshell. I had actually found out it was not even in moss, so I put it, or it was in moss, not Akadama, so I had to repot it in Akadama media. Quite a few of the plants are developing. These two Veitchiis are crazy right now. The little one is putting a trap over in the corner. The Akazukan X Barrio, the one that's from a basil, is doing something interesting here. It kind of got really stout, but the stripes got way more intense. K3, big difference from her first trap with me, which was kind of green with a little stripe. This is more her typical coloration. She's usually kind of pink to red with stripes. So she's getting her typical type form already on the second trap. So she looks quite happy. A little bit of leaf jumps, doing fine. This is K3. That's the one that's used in Mike Fallen's Grex. It's one of his females. Let's see, going down the road, we got BE4021. This is one I call Double Delight because this is the one with the dual leaf weird capacity. It likes to do that. It's pushing another trap down over here. You can see that is number 5 by the wave, super stripy down here. Yeah, there you go. Nice stripes on that one. Clippy 8 is doing really well. It just pushed out that tall trap of my larger one. The second sibling is doing okay. The clone seemed to have a little bit of a fit during the cold. Pink Candy looks crazy good. Can't lie, that looks really nice. Let's see. I did repot the Hamada and Velosa Hamada, so they're doing fine. Cerecia is put back over here. Palinensis is fine. Rest of the Veitchii I like to be doing good. Rajah SG, not yet opening its trap, but it's trying to inflate it. It's a nice one. Rajah SG. Berbizier seems to like this corner a lot better, so I'm just going to leave it over here. Super Glue, no traps right now actually, but it's pushing out new leaves. So yeah, this side seems to be doing good with its Veitchii population and other species and whatnot. So let's go check out the tank. Okay, now we've made our way over to the tank setup. All the plants are doing fine right now. Some of these are just trying to acclimate, like this one, which is the 4024. Pushing through. This is the Candy Red X Candy Stripe, one of 4 randomly selected clones. It does look like it activated a basil node, but its leaves look okay, and it's trying to open, so there's that. Right there, hiding down there, which is still green, it looks like, hopefully, is the Veitchii seedling. So kind of have it where it's not getting too much harsh light, but it's getting enough light. It's in Akadama, so we'll see how that goes. There's that single vent X sib X vent cross with Maximex Telegenesis, and those are the same mother but crossed with the Ventricosa again. Super vigorous, so those will be pretty easy to grow out, I think. The GF Wong X Candy Dreams, can't really see them, but they are germinated. There are little green spots in there. Nothing in the lowland Veitchii cross with Candy Stripe. Nothing in Candy Red X Candy Dreams at this time. So that sucks. That's germination. You can still see the little, if I can show it, little mystery macro. Nothing in the Diabolica pot. Excuse me. So we'll see how that goes on with time. I'm hopeful that the little seedling pushes through. Veitchii M. This is the one that's called Big Green from Mike. Did get a trap, and it's got another one. It's the one right here at the Rajah. So it's pushing another one there, but its trap is right there, striped and happy. This Rajah is ridiculous. This is the one with the basil. It's right dead center on this side. So I opened up that way because I was trying to grab moss for Mr. Rogers, who I was doing the trade with, because he wanted some of the moss types I had so he could try to cultivate his own. So I sent him a bunch of different types of moss that I have in here. So it helps me because I can reduce kind of the crazy moss when it's kind of flowing out of the pot. So there's that. This one at least has 2. Yeah, Veitchii C and D both seem to be pushing traps and leaf jumps, which is good. Macrophylloclone T. Wow, look how red that got right there on that one. BCP Clone 23 is actually growing faster than I expected. It's got 2 new leaf jumps. Pretty reddish. The Seagram macro that we call Phoenix, or the Macro G, whichever one you want to call it, doesn't really bother me. Is still live. It got a little jump, so this one's just gonna slowly come back for me. I did do some plant Tetris. I finally did repot my Attenboroughii, and it looks way happier since I did. The leaf is a lot shinier. So it was in cocoa mix with a little bit of sphagnum and what is that one? Peat moss. So that was from plants that eat. It had been growing fine in that. It's just the roots, it looked like kind of did this ball thing around itself. They weren't interwoven. They were just kind of curling, like they couldn't get out of that area. So I'm hoping with the Akadama, it'll be able to spread out and do better. Added just a bit of kanuma into that pot too, because Philippine species tend to like it more red. Also, I just noticed, look at this Rajah trap. This one finally popped too. So we're going down the back. Diabolica, my female, seems to be doing okay. No issues this winter. She definitely liked December over January better, but she's got a lot of trats active. It doesn't look like she's having any issues. The other Diabolica is kind of stabilizing as well. I did repot her, so she might be a little pissy, and they're just that slow to pick up on the changes. So take that as you will. Just got to be careful when you do it. Let's see, Edward Sienna. I moved it over here because it was kind of blocking all the light for the Diabolica. So, bad Eddie, stop taking all the light. It It also keeps trying to fall out of the pot, so I've kind of got this tag supporting it there. Let's see, Argente, both growth points seem to be fine. Singulana did a nice dark trap in that corner. I wasn't expecting it to get that dark, actually. That's kind of neat. It's toothy, too. Not super toothy like that one form of Singulana, but what its type form should have, it's got the right teeth. So I'm fine with that. Northianas are fine. The Robacantli that's in here is fine. I did pull out all the Rob and the Nebs. They're in the cabinet. There's nothing wrong with them. I'm just trying to get them to transition from that to go get a little bigger, and then I'll put them in the open tray is my thought. I put Leonardo in this corner because it's always struggling. Got a nice leaf jump, seems happy. Velosa now gets more light, so hopefully it's happy with that. Seems to be. Ristolocoides seems really happy. Bongso is doing fine. My other Northiana. Epiphydiata is right there doing okay. Mollis is developing its first trap pretty well. I don't know if this will be a shrink or it's just going to take a while for it to get to the size that it had last time. I'm not too sure how it behaves. This is its first trap. Aime seems to be doing okay. Kind of similar to Mollis, but not as fuzzy in the leaves. Just as a quick comparison, the leaf shapes are actually very similar, but a little different too. How neat. Random comparison for me. Ceratensis seems much happier right here, so it's got a nice growth push, and it's developing out. The other Veitchii here all seem to be doing okay. No issue. I still worry about this one, but it's still alive. It's just slow. Sometimes I have to kind of find it because the moss tries to overtake it. And that should be it. So, no issues. This is that. This is the only Veitchii that kind of ever had a reduction in my conditions, which is really weird. Usually I get it, they'll do like a little leaf and then a jump, but this one's been pretty slow. That's the smaller Big Mama cross with the Wave that I got from the live. It was one of the Grower's Choice. I had purchased a medium. I got a extra small, so Druid sent me the correct size one and let me keep that one. So this one's been fussy, but the larger one's been totally fine. So there's that. No other little interesting notes that I can see. I did like the jump on this one. It got nice and pink. This one's been pretty good. This is Murad X Candy Red. So it's a good Grex. Good jump on the Murad X CK. This is a basil from a seed grown plants that I picked up on eBay. I'd been wanting one of this Grex. This thing has crazy stripe. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. That is the one from Jacob, but apparently it was originally sold to Jacob by my friend Stricure on Instagram. He actually has a bunch of them. He kind of sells on off. So let's see if I can, boop, there we go. Had to straighten that up. I like how this one, these two get this kind of reddish leaf blush. They kind of keep it so far. But yeah, the one that I got from Repotting Plant Broth, I was getting a nice little red coloration on it too. So this will be nice to see how they all develop and change out. So that's it, everyone. See you next time. If you have any questions or need help with your own setup or looking for a plant or need some suggestions, feel free to comment or talk with me on Instagram, Wise Exotics. You know, same little green owl. Happy to help, and good luck to everybody entering the giveaway. Trevor out.